Hi, this is Marty, and welcome to another video from Skincare Science, the makers of Serene. As you can see, I have quite a bit written on the board. I'm going to go ahead and do a little overview of what we're going to be doing today in this video. And I have a client who is Fitzpatrick 3 on the small scale. On the large scale, Fitzpatrick 5, not quite a 6, and I'll show you pictures of her right now. Now you know what she looks like. I've decided, and again, this client contacted me a long time ago. There was no one within her geographic area to help her, so I was answering emails. One of the emails, basically, I said, go to a dermatologist first and then come back to me. She didn't have a foundation at all of seeing a derm or an SD. So coming directly to me is not a good use of my time or of her time. I'll be teaching her, and I'm not about to teach a one-on-one. I don't have the time, and not a waste of my time, but I think you get the point. So she's a Fitzpatrick 3, she has acne, and she got products from the dermatologist. She's like most clients, you know, bouncing all over the board. I asked her everything she was using, and she showed me all of it. One of the products her derm gave her was 4% hydroquinone. Can you believe it? And then she had a couple of other products that were ones I had never heard of or know about, and I'm not going to research it for her. But I basically told her, oh, and she had a vitamin C like contraption from Amazon, and I basically said, look, if you're going to come to me, you have to stop using all those products. So I'm going to send you products out, samples, and you're going to go ahead and stop using your products. I'll go over that later as it relates to client control. And you've come to me, so let's see if I can help you. Fast forwarding, she emailed me 2 days ago and asked me a question regarding BHA and salicylic acid cleanser. So this is BHA, AHA clarifying astringent and 2% salicylic acid. She said that on the website, in the documentation, it says that you can't use, or you shouldn't use, BHA, AHA plus salicylic acid. I'd like to kind of tell you why. If you look at units, this is 2% salicylic acid, this is 2% salicylic acid, and then 10% AHA. So if you were to use that in the morning, like say for example, cleanse your skin with sal acid, and then use the BHA, AHA after that, that would be 4% salicylic acid, and that would be 10% glycolic acid. So that would be basically 14% acid in the morning protocol. If you were to do that twice a day, that would be 28% or 28 units of acid. I will go over what units are, why I came up with it, what it is, and how to best use it, not only for yourself, but also for in a professional environment for your clients. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I would like to add, if you are a retail client and you're on Reddit, don't call me. Ever. Michelle, if you are on Reddit, don't lie to me, please tell me, and I'm going to fire you as a client. Why would I say that? I'll come back to that later on. And again, I was being a little harsh, but I wanted to make a point, and I will come back to it and let you know why I did that. It's very easy for me to do that. It's not so easy in a professional environment, and you don't have to be that harsh. You don't have to be like that. But when I talk about why I talk like that, why I do that, it'll make a lot of sense. And I believe that it will help you, and I believe that it will help Michelle. And by the way, when I respond back to Michelle, because I haven't responded back to her yet, I will be emailing a link for this video. So I'm kind of putting it where it is and letting her know. She's going to hear me say this, she's going to see my face, and I'm dead serious. Okay. So back to Michelle and the protocol and the units. She is correct in that you would not want to use both those products with all that acid. What do you think would happen if she did do that? What is probably the first thing she's going to say to me? I have dry skin, it's become sensitive, I'm not happy, blah, 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 and it's a nightmare. Well, having an understanding of acid and having an understanding of her skin and some of the products with her derm and where she's at, I can customize this to avoid that phone call. So let's get into that. Here's the AM, here's the PM, and we have facial cleanser sensitive skin and facial cleanser sensitive skin right here. That's going to be the one we use to cleanse the skin. We think about what the skin does, and this is kind of a side note. Think about what the skin does. It has a specific function, and it's to protect us from the sun. It needs hydration, it needs water, it needs natural moisturizing factor. It needs to be supple so that it can move while we move and protect us. We all know the rest of that conversation. Well, I want to do the same thing, meaning with one product, one action, one result. I want to cleanse the skin. Now, this is a little bit of product knowledge with regards to facial cleanser sensitive skin. I'd like to talk about that right now. What makes it sensitive? Really, it's quite simple. It's pH balanced, meaning it's the same pH as our skin. And also it has 2 surfactants in it. One is formulated for sensitive skin. It's not something I came up with. It's in the industry and it's perfect. It works perfect. It does its job. And specifically, its only job is to cleanse the skin. Now, as it relates to this right here in transepidermal water loss, facial cleanser sensitive skin and the sensitive and the normal combination is not more than, I think it's like 12, 13%. You know, on every batch of manufacturing, you're always getting a variance. And when I get into manufacturing and SPF, I will educate you on why that is the case. And all manufacturers deal with it, even though they have, it's 10%. But there are always variables. So with that said, the research is there. When you use a surfactant or a soap to cleanse the skin, the higher the percentage of surfactants or more concentration of soap will increase transepidermal water loss by going into the cellular space, not the yellow, but the pink, and remove a lot of the proteins and lipids and other items, not the desmosomes, but the intercellular space to create transepidermal water loss if the surfactant is too much. So let me reiterate that. If you are cleansing your skin with a cleanser and it's not a hydrating cleanser, and I'll get over that when I talk about why there's only 4 cleansers and why I wish there was only 3 cleansers in the Serene line. When you are using a cleanser, you want to make sure that the surfactant is as low as possible without inhibiting it from doing its job of cleansing properly. If you use too much soap, if a manufacturer uses too much soap, it will create transepidermal water loss, and it will create the need for excessive hydration, and it will create a host of problems as it relates to the condition of transepidermal water loss. Because if the water escapes the skin and there's no water within the skin or in the stratum corneum or enough water, the process of exfoliation will come to a grinding halt.